My name is Volker Koscielny. I'm the Chief Medical Officer of Almirall. I'm here in beautiful Aarhus with Professor Mette de Lorrain and Professor Christian Westergaard. We are here today to talk about atopic dermatitis, one of the most common, prevalent diseases with a very significant impact on patients, but also their families. Mette, Professor de Lorrain, you see patients on a daily basis. Can you give us a little bit a sense for how do these patients present? What are their challenges? What does their suffering look like, feel like for you as a clinician? Give us a little bit of sense.
I would be very happy to do so because I think the patients suffer a lot. It's a very common disease, as you mentioned, and many patients have mild disease, but we only see the moderate to severe patients in our clinic. And they are referred to us if they are not treated well on topical treatment and they need more treatment. I treated patients for 30 years plus with atopic dermatitis, and I think they are some of the patients who suffer the most. Some people just call it a skin disease, but it affects their life very thoroughly. You can see it. Many patients have eczema on their face, both children and adults. They have periorbital darkening around the eyes. They have often scaling and fissures on the skin. They have oozing skin if they have infection on the skin, and they often have Staph aureus infections and other infections on the skin. They have pain in their skin and itch a lot, so they don't sleep well. So I think it's a really burdensome disease, atopic dermatitis, in its moderate to severe form.
Thank you, Mette. Christian, building on these points, we know a lot about the psychological impact for the patients, for the families. In the short term, we talk about stigmatization, but also long term, potentially missed life opportunities. Can you share a little bit the insights that you have?
Yeah, I can try, because as Mette said, this is a lifelong disease for many of the patients. So when we see the impact on the psychological well-being of these patients, and I think Mette just mentioned it, is the stigmatization that these patients experience. And the worst kind of stigmatization is the stigmatization that's the internal stigmatization. They feel themselves that they are dirty or marked, as Mette also said, sometimes they have difficulties in relations, in touching, intimate relations, because they have this feeling. And internal stigmatization is when the patients think that other people think that they are disgusting or something else. So it's really a vicious circle that can not completely destroy life, but really lead to deep impact in these patients' lives on a negative way.
So very profound impact on patients, on families around. Mette, where does it leave you as a dermatologist, treating challenging, difficult cases on a daily basis? Where are you?
I think it's very important that we interact with the patient, ask them about their lives, ask them if they have psychological problems, also together with the physical problems they suffer from. And also ask about comorbidities, because they often have other diseases at the same time as atopic dermatitis. And I think we need to ask them about what we should help them with, interact with the patients. Not just tell them what to do, but ask them about what they would like to achieve with their treatment.
Yeah, and that's an interesting point you're making. Of course, there is a lot of development happening in the space of atopic dermatitis. Christian, any final words from you, speculating? What is the future? What does the future hold for you? What is the promise?
I don't know if it's the promise, but what we're really looking for now is when we have these new efficient therapies, when we are using these, can we do disease modification? Can we actually perhaps even cure the patients? This is a lot to dream for, but I think we are on the road there now, and we need to look at what happens when we start treating early, treating aggressively. And I think that this is the ultimate goal. Can we really cure this disease? And I think we are on the right way, or on the right path now.
Mette, looking forward into the future, what does the future hold with all of those developments? How do you see it?
I think it looks much more brighter than it used to be for the patients. When I see patients who are on new treatments, they don't need to think about blood staining, scratch marks, and also short sleeves. and go to the swimming pool with their kids if it's an adult patient. So I think it has changed their lives a lot that we now have better treatment options.
So this concludes our short session with Professor Delarin and Professor Vestergaard. I think we had very deep insights into atopic dermatitis, but importantly we ended on a note of optimism and promise for better outcomes and fulfilled lives for patients suffering from atopic dermatitis.